up?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the official second episode of the Javae and Scott podcast, named by Scott, mind you. Um, how are you today? How's it going?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm ready to do the second official episode.
The
We're on like
second official episode,
the
yeah.
47th unofficial, but
Ah, all right. I want to jump straight into a topic. I've been
okay.
thinking about this one,
All right.
right?
What you got?
Conspiracies. I've been thinking about this since yesterday. I'm so excited.
Okay. All right.
Are you ready to join me on this journey?
Yep. Let's get into it.
Okay.
What's conspiracy theory you got in your
Okay, I want to continue off of the one that I first presented, right?
head?
Uh I think everybody in Hollywood is touching little boys and little girls too, for that matter. Um
Why do you think that?
Dog, I think like once you reach like a certain level of like stardom and shit like that, like first of all, a lot of these dudes, like a lot of these dudes were straight up nerds before they became like famous, right? Like they weren't getting like any butt whatsoever, right? And then they get into Hollywood and suddenly like all you have to do is like appear in like a movie that everybody's seen, right? And then instantly that clout will get you like all the attention that you've never gotten before from like women that you never thought would ever give you like that attention, right? And then you go into that and like, wow, you're like, wow, this isn't everything I thought it was. And then you start getting into the wild shit because the regular shit just isn't doing it for you anymore, right? And the richer you get, the more you can get away with, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Right? And then you got dudes like what's that fat dude from Nickelodeon?
Dan Schneider.
Dan Schneider. You got
Dan
cats like
like.
him. You got cats like him, dude. Dudes like him.
Oh, okay. Um. So I pulled up a link because I remember him talking about it. Do you remember Corey Feldman?
Yes.
Um, he made a doc.
Surprise conspiracy theory talk on the second episode. First, what? How many minutes is this? First 10 minutes already?
Yeah, not even.
Not even.
So he had a documentary called My Truth: The Rape of Two Coreys.
Okay.
He listed men who sexually assaulted him and his friend when they were child stars. Among the names Feldman alleged, Corey Haim said Charlie Sheen while making the 1986 film Lucas.
So just for future reference, because I like we don't have that many like views on these podcast videos yet.
Yeah.
I think we can't say the R word. I think we're not allowed to say that.
Okay.
So rather than say the R word, let's just put a G in front of it and say grape.
Did you know that there's a sketch? It's from those people that I was showing you yesterday. I don't know why I said the other day. Mm-hmm. But they're trying to make like a grape commercial, and they come up with like a mascot is the grapist.
Okay. Who is this? The which dude? What's his name?
Trevor. It was like him and like it was like him and his troupe. But yeah, he's just like, he's the grapist, and it's like these TV execs like, no, not doing that at all.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Yeah, I just thought about that. There's certain things we're not allowed to say.
That's true. Should we start over?
No, let's just keep it rolling. We said
all right. One time. We listened and we learned. Mm-hmm. Charlie Sheen also denied the allegations, but when's the last time you trusted anything Charlie
Sheen said? No, not at all. Not at all. And legit, I think the only nigga in Hollywood not doing this is Keanu Reeves.
I think there has to be so many more.
Okay, like who else? Who else do you think is like, yo, I'm not with that?
Of course, this is acting under the assumption that this is true. This is still a conspiracy theory. But
yeah, sure. Right?
Let me think.
Scott, look at my fingers. Right.
Ryan Reynolds.
Okay, I can see Ryan Reynolds not being with
married to Blake Lively, owns a gin company.
He owns a gin company?
Yeah, it's like Aviation Gin.
He would have a gin company called Aviation Gin.
Yeah, and he makes he makes commercials for them all the time. And it's just Ryan Reynolds being Ryan Reynolds.
Maybe that's my stupidity because I don't watch television. Television is horrible now. What else you got for me?
Like,
wait, who else do you think? You know who I also think doesn't do that? Who's actually tied to Ryan Reynolds? Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, I would extend it and say that anybody who works like in the Marvel movies, because I feel like there's a lot of vetting before they're given that platform.
Okay, yeah. It could always be, not saying that any of them are actually doing this shit, right? But it could always be, right, that like they vet for people who know how to keep their shit together compared to people who will absolutely slip up.
Adam Driver.
You don't think?
Absolutely not.
You know, I would have thought it. I would have thought he might have been before I saw Marriage Story for some reason, and I don't know why that correlates for me. I don't know why that correlates for me, but like once I saw him in Marriage Story, I'm like, ah, no, this is a good guy. He would never do this.
That's funny. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to find it. So do you believe this kind of ventures a little bit off conspiracy theories, but I don't think it does.
Okay.
Do you believe in ghosts?
Oh, absolutely.
What do you mean absolutely?
Yeah, I believe in ghosts. Well, wait, before we continue, do you?
No, not at all.
Why not?
2 reasons.
Okay.
Number 1, with everything we know about like the physical world, like all the science that we know, for there to be ghosts would have to transcend that.
I disagree, but continue.
It would have to give credence to soul, maybe, or something that's separate from a physical body.
Okay.
And 2, I'm trying to figure out how to phrase this, right? So what ghosts come back? Is it only the tortured ghosts? For the sake of argument.
I believe the lore behind it is ghosts are the spirits of people who remain in this world because they can't rest easy. Like they.
Okay. I want to clarify to everybody that this is a joke. I don't even know if it's my joke, but I want to set this straight up.
Most of what we say on here is jokes, honestly.
Okay. I think we don't mean anything that we say.
I hope people can tell.
Anyway.
I don't know.
I grew up in Mississippi. If there was ghosts who stayed in this world because they had unfinished business or they had like a gruesome death,
I know what you're getting.
How many white people would realistically be left in Mississippi?
Usually, right? That's the implication that these ghosts will actually like kill people, right? Like you're implying that these would be violent ghosts, right?
Even if not violent, even if they couldn't be violent, you know that they would try to do something.
Yeah. I've actually had like some supernatural experiences, you know.
Okay, go hit me. What you got?
Yo, so okay. No. Before I get to that, I wanted to hit on a point that you made that it has to transcend science, right? I don't think it does, Majid. Because what's one of the first things that you learn in science class? What's the law of conservation of matter?
I barely finished high school.
Yeah, I think this was in like I think I learned this in like middle school actually.
Okay, all right. You don't got to be a dick about it.
But no, so apparently and somebody let me know if I'm missing something, but the law of conservation of matter states that matter cannot be created nor destroyed, right? So it stands to reason that if the soul is tied to anything like physical, right? Like some shit in your brain or something like that, it doesn't just go away forever. It recycles.
But isn't that what happens when you're buried? Like, what's the difference between a soul and consciousness?
Like on some real shit, I don't know all of that, right?
I don't know.
Like what all like the only thing I'm saying is, right, if it's tied to anything physical at all, right?
Mm-hmm.
Something if the soul and that is if the soul is real, because I don't know, right? I'm just saying like scientifically speaking, right? If it's tied to anything physical, like that energy just goes somewhere else. It doesn't like dissipate. Like
Okay.
you know what I'm saying? It doesn't just disappear.
But let me hold your feet to the fire for a second on that.
Okay, go ahead.
So let's say it's still attached to the physical body, right?
Okay.
Now the physical body is kind of getting eaten away, and it's it's down on the ground. So for the sake of argument, let's say maggots are eating at you.
Okay.
Does that mean your soul is being transferred into the maggots?
That's a good question.
What if maggots are the real ghosts?
Just worms and shit.
Yeah, just be like, hey, I was born in 1852.
And then it just dies within the next few seconds because worms have a terrible lifespan.
Like, hopefully it doesn't rain. End up on the sidewalk.
Can you imagine being a worm and it's really hot outside? You're like, oh God, no.
This is awful. Where's the air conditioning?
For some reason, I know you've seen Starship Troopers, right?
Yeah.
For some reason, like the image of like like the little news thing is like would you like to know more?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like when they're talking about how the only good bug is a dead bug and there's a bunch of children like stepping on these bugs on the sidewalk. They're like, we're doing our part, right? Like that just reminded me of that. Anyway,
is there proof? Is there evidence of ghosts?
So that's what I wanted to get to.
You got to be fact checking here. Like,
I don't know how to fact check any of this. What I'm about to tell you. So, legit, right? The first one is very short, right? I'm laying down, I'm asleep, right? This was like, I want to say like maybe like 2014, right? I'm knocked out in bed. And in the house that I was living in, I had like a mirror like to the left of me, right? So I woke up and looked to my left and looked at the mirror. I did not see my reflection. And it scared the shit out of me so much. I woke up again and looked, and I could see my reflection all of a sudden. Huh?
It sounds like a dream.
Or was I having an out of body experience, Scott? Was I astral projecting, Scott? You're asking the wrong questions.
I don't know if I believe in astral projecting either.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
What do you believe in? Nothing.
I believe in like the Vince McMahon mantra of living, which is life sucks and then you die.
Vince McMahon said that?
I think at one point, yeah. He said it like he was like on Raw. But
Vince McMahon is a sick nigga.
he's like a true like he's a straight up villain.
He booked himself to a wrestling match with God.
Yeah. And they had God come out and everything.
Yeah. God had theme music. Yeah. And I'm like, yo, what is wrong with this dude? Vince McMahon doesn't get much sicker than him, yo.
And for the audience listening at home, the answer is B, narcissism.
No, he's definitely sick. But I don't know, man. Do you think that maybe it could be real based off of what it is you believe in? Like your mind makes that type of shit real?
I mean, I would say yes, but then I kind of have to ask the question, if it's only real if you believe it's going to be real, how real is that? Like, what's the difference between that and just blind faith?
Hey, look. And one thing people are gonna learn about me on this podcast is I don't know what the fuck it is I'm talking about. I'm just like, I'm saying shit because it sounds interesting and cool. But like I don't know, dude. Like I've seen some amazing shit, or even like heard about like some amazing shit, like from
Like,
people who just blindly believe in something, and like maybe like their blind faith isn't why it happened, but they believe in it so much, right? That like, how can it not be real?
but
To
what
them
about,
at least. I don't know.
but what about like Scientologists? Like,
you know, I never got into Scientology like that. Educate me. What do they believe in?
fucking hell. I have a story about this.
Okay.
I was in Los Angeles for a few months. And I was walking down the street and they were like, "Hey, can we like ask you some questions?" And I didn't know anything about Scientology, but I just knew to like stay several feet away from them.
Okay.
So my natural curiosity was like, "Yeah, come on, let's do it."
Okay.
So
that sounds like a mistake.
Let me get in this van. All right. Like, so they bring me straight up to the center, right? Like into their building. And this was years ago, so I'm probably gonna remember a lot of this wrong. But I had a look, and then it looks like there was a bookstore there.
Okay.
And I was like, this just seems like a business. And so this guy comes out and he's like, "All right, we're gonna ask you some questions." And I was like, "All right, cool." And then he just proceeded to ask like life questions, like how are you doing? Is there times in your life where you felt sad? Have you ever done drugs? Like asking questions to try to like isolate your weak point.
Okay.
And I was like,
yeah, that's how they rope you into the cult and shit.
Yeah, so it could be like, here, we can help you with this course. And yeah, so at the end of it, they were like, yeah, you know, definitely some things spiked there. So if, you know, you just give us your home address, we can, you know, maybe get started with this. And I was like, oh, I'm not going to give you my address. And they were like,
well, in other news today, a young Caucasian man named Scott Sullivan disappeared from his home.
And they were like, well, you know, if you could just give us your address, we can send you some materials. And I was like, no, it's all right. I was like, I'm not giving my address. And so I ended up leaving, and they gave me like their number, I think, but they seemed very upset that I didn't give them my address, and that's why I didn't give them my address. They
were upset,
like not outwardly, but you could tell that they just kind of like gave in and was like, fine, we won't get your address.
That's scary, dude. That's fucking scary. Imagine somebody getting upset that they did not get your address. Like, what was on your mind, my G? You know, like, why are we mad? Like,
so Scientology, it describes itself as a religion that was founded in the 1950s.
Nothing good comes from the 1950s.
The best of live and on demand.
What? Hey, that means unlimited. Fuck up. So hold on. I want to make like I'm just double checking. I want to make sure that I'm
no doubt, no doubt. Isn't Will Smith a Scientologist?
I've heard that. What do Scientologists?
If Will Smith is a Scientologist, then it's the truth. Whatever they're talking about is just real.
I know Elizabeth Moss is.
Uh-huh.
If you know who she is.
I have no idea who's Elizabeth Moss.
The girl from the Invisible Man.
The only Moss I know is Carrie Ann Moss.
Did you ever watch The Invisible Man or Us?
Yes. Oh, her. Okay, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Invisible Man was so good, by the way.
I didn't think I was gonna like it as much as I did.
Yeah. It was Wheezy F Baby, and the F is for phenomenal, my G.
Okay. Core belief holds that a human is an immortal spiritual being.
Okay.
That is resident in a physical body. He has innumerable past lives, some of which preceding the Beaton's arrival on Earth.
Preceding Eden's arrival on Earth. Okay.
Yeah, and I guess the Thetan is a spiritual being.
No, Eden, like EDEN.
Thetan, like THETAN.
THETAN. I have no idea. Okay, go ahead.
It's described as a religion to help people use scientific approaches to self-actualize their full potential. Believers reach their full potential when they understand themselves in their true relationship to the physical universe and the supreme being. What the fuck is a supreme being? Hold on. Afterlife. In Scientology, the human body is regarded as similar to other religions that at death, the spirit will leave the body.
Okay.
There is no set dogma on God and allows individuals to come to their own understanding of God.
Okay. So I'm just saying Will Smith believes in this, right? Because if Will Smith believes in it, I'm probably converting.
Hold on. Here we go. Will Smith and Jada.
Yo, come on.
Their school is total Scientology. That's a headline. I'm not going to read the full article.
Okay.
Look, no, don't.
Yo.
He made Bright. He's not making his best decisions right now.
You know what else he made?
What?
In West Philadelphia, born and raised.
I'm sorry, when? When was that? Oh, I'm sorry. Well, that was the 90s. Yeah, listen to him.
Stop acting like you didn't like I Am Legend. Don't do that. You liked I Am Legend.
I'm
you
sorry,
liked Hancock.
2007.
Years ago. But people, what do you want? What do you want? You didn't like Hitch, bro?
2004? Yeah. Hold on. No. I'm going to prove a point right fucking now.
You didn't like Gemini Man?
No. Neither did anyone else who watched. Hold on. Also, no, I didn't like him going on TV with his wife and her being like, there was an entanglement and he's just
That was a low moment.
Bad Boys for Life, didn't like it.
Yeah, it was trash. But Bad Boys 2 though.
Aladdin. Gemini Man.
People liked Aladdin. The minute they started singing in the live action Aladdin, I turned it off. I couldn't do it.
Everyone who I've talked to really liked Aladdin, but it was just weird to me. The whole fucking thing was weird.
I can't do the musical shit. I can't do it. I still haven't seen the live action Lion King for that reason.
Did you like the original Lion King?
Yes.
It's the exact fucking same thing, except now it looks like a real lion.
I also heard they took Be Prepared by whoever voiced Scar out and then put in some dumbass Beyonce shit.
Yeah, I think like he says a few words from Be Prepared, and it's like a full-on Beyonce song. Dude, in Aladdin, Princess Jasmine, she has like her whole song about how she's like not going to be like chained up and not going to be shackled, and it's like everything stops. It's like a straight up music video in the middle of the movie about like how she's going to be free, and then it ends with her getting captured. Here we go. Will Smith was in Suicide Squad. I don't care what he has to say about Scientology.
Yo.
What is this, some kind of Scientology? No.
Yo, you didn't like 7 pounds, bro?
7 pounds. Where for Woody Harrelson in like the biggest fucking wig I've ever seen in my entire life. It started with just like Will Smith for no fucking reason whatsoever, just being like, let me be a dick to this blind person. Because if he handles it well without defending himself, I'll give him my eyes later on.
You know, Scott, I just can't believe you. Like you're going on this all out offensive against Will Smith. Of all people, you're going out against Will Smith. It's crazy to me.
Growing up, I loved him as an actor.
Yeah.
Lately, I've just been waiting for him to do something that's not him being Will Smith.
Yeah. I will say this, right? It's hard to get into his shit because it's just him all the time. But guess what else? He's one of the most successful actors in Hollywood ever, just being himself, bro. That's hard, bro. That's hard. He was just himself since The Fresh Prince, and like just by being himself, like he's one of the most successful actors probably ever.
Okay, but could we say the same thing about Tom Cruise?
Is Tom Cruise is also a Scientologist.
Yes, but can we say the same thing about him? Where even though he does play different characters, a lot of the time he plays Tom Cruise doing action shit.
Yeah, like Tom Cruise jumping out of planes, Tom Cruise jumping off of buildings, Tom Cruise jumping
even
out
if we
cars.
look at the Mission Impossible one, like the last couple he did were amazing. Why can't Will Smith do that? Look, I'll extend an olive branch.
Yo, put some respect on Will Smith's name. He gave you Gemini Man.
So the first movie I ever watched of his, I was young. It was 6 Degrees of Separation. Okay. Have you seen that one?
A long time ago.
Okay, yeah. I think it was 6 Degrees of Separation. I hope I'm not wrong. But like at the end of the movie, he passes away.
Okay. I vaguely remember that.
And I was young, so I just thought Will Smith died. I started bawling. And I remember my mom was like, what? And I was like, how are they going to make more Fresh Prince episodes? And she had to sit me down and was like, he's playing a character. And I was like, so he's alive? And she was like, yes. You dumb fuck, yeah.
No, man. Nah, y'all gonna stop faking on Will Smith like Gemini Man wasn't a classic, man. An instant classic, man. I'm not having it. What are you gonna do, Scott, when Hitch 2 comes out and it's a classic? What are you gonna do when Will Smith is in Saw 11?
What is this? Some kind of jigsaw trap?
I heard when you said that just now, I heard him say it in my head. I'm like, oh yeah, this movie's it's about to be fire.
Dude, here's the thing, okay? And I know you'll agree with me here.
Okay.
If he was in Saw 87,
okay,
they would cast everybody. And he would get them all fired. He would be like, no. I am the star of this movie. Put me alone in the room. I'm gonna give it everything.
Who in Saw has ever been a bigger star than Will Smith. And look at all the Saws, right?
I would say, are we counting? Are we counting Spiral?
No, because Saw is Saw and Spiral is Spiral. I'm consistent on this.
Okay.
Saw is Saw and Spiral is Spiral. I'm talking about Saw. And also, if you were about to say Chris Rock, you are wrong.
I was gonna say Samuel L. Jackson.
Samuel L. Jackson was in Spiral?
Yeah.
You're telling me that Samuel motherfucking Jackson is in Spiral?
Yeah. Yeah.
With Chris Rock.
With Chris Rock.
I have to watch this like tonight. Why am I doing the podcast right now? I should be watching Spiral right now.
Okay.
We have got to get out of here.
Hey, if you watch Spiral, like probably not tonight because it's late, but if you do it like this weekend, we'll fucking talk about it because I have a lot I want to say.
Okay. Mind you, after Saw 3, I stopped watching Saw. So
did I.
Yeah, because Saw 3 was like the last decent Saw.
I feel like, and again, because I haven't seen the other ones, maybe there's stuff in there that you would recognize if you saw it, but I was able to follow everything.
That I would recognize if I saw. I see what you did there.
I didn't even mean to do that.
Dog, it's that natural talent. Anyway, I did not know Samuel Jackson was in there. I knew Chris Rock was.
Yeah.
I'm pleasantly surprised by this information. What else did we say we were going to talk about?
Before we get to that, one question, since we're still kind of on the topic.
Hit me.
What do you think of Jaden Smith?
Yeah, so me and my ex, like 2 years ago, right? Okay. It was when Tyler the Creator was doing his tour for Igor that came out in, I think, 2019. Yeah, 2019. So it was 2 years ago, right? We went there, and Jaden Smith was one of the people who performed before Tyler the Creator. Mind you, it was Gold Link opening, who's an artist from this area, DC, right? Jaden Smith, who the crowd was like the crowd, these kids love Jaden Smith, bro.
Okay.
Then it was Tyler, bro. Jaden Smith not only performed quite well, mind you, I don't know any of Jaden Smith's music, but to say that he's a terrible performer, you would be a fucking lie, right?
Yeah.
And this dude stops the whole show because this white girl at the front had passed out because it was hot as fuck outside, right? She passed out. He stops the whole show and made sure that this little girl got some water. And I've liked Jaden Smith ever since.
That's great. I have
like whatever else, like as far as like how he performs and all of that, in film and so forth, is like secondary to me, because when I saw that, I'm like, yo,
you saw his intentions.
Yeah.
I have the movies I've seen him in, I've never really liked. His music, I'm 50-50 on. Okay. There's some where I'm just like, I don't know why you're making this. And then another half that I'll be like, this is not bad. I haven't seen him perform live yet, though. But I know that
it was an unexpected pleasure to see him perform live. I will say that he knows how to move a crowd and stuff like that.
What the fuck else did we say we were gonna talk about? I do know that we said that we were gonna talk about that catfish story. Do you want to do that next episode?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it next ep. I want to dedicate
a big chunk of time.
Yeah, a big chunk of time to that. So that's the next episode, definitely.
Last thing I had that we were going to talk about is the fact that 174 views made us feel like we were on top of the world.
Oh my God. So for those of you who don't know, and you can find it on the Movie Club channel, this very channel, Scott hit me up with this outline for this thing that we could do on our phones. And it was called How Are You Doing? Right? You can see it. It's just the two of us just acting. We got a whole lot of like positive reviews from it and shit like that. And dude, we had 174 views on that video, and goddamn, it felt like we got 100,000.
And it wasn't even at 174. I think it got to like 70 views, and we both were like, "Whoa,
yo,
hold on a second. Oh my God!" And then it just kept going up, and then it hit 100, and we were like, "The fuck, are we famous now? Oh, gotta work on my autograph." But no, it was like, even though that's like 174 is like practically nothing in like the grand scheme of things, it was fucking everything to us. Because it was like the first thing that we kind of made and put out that people were like, "This is not bad."
Yeah.
And that was
dude. I had people telling us that it was actually like really good.
Yeah.
Like I know people who watched it over and over, and like learning that, bro. Like that meant the world. That meant the world to me. Like what?
I had one person who cried watching it.
Yeah, tell them about that. It was on Snapchat.
Yeah. I like posted on the story because I don't post that much, so I was like, all right, I'll put this up. And yeah, so someone messaged me, and they were like, "I just watched this. This is really emotional." And I was like, "Oh, thank you." And they were like, "I started crying," and I was like, "Ha," because I thought they were being funny. And then they sent me a photo with like tears coming down their eyes. And I was like, "Oh God!" I was like, "Are you okay?"
That is amazing.
Like, no, it's good. And I was like, "Okay."
You know, when you told me that, it reminded me of this something I heard Eddie Murphy say one day. He was like, "Anybody can do something stupid and make somebody laugh." This is before he appeared in Dreamgirls, if I'm not mistaken. And he's like, "Anybody can do stupid shit and make somebody laugh, right?" He said, "Try making somebody cry."
Yeah.
He said, when you learn to make somebody cry, that's different. And when I heard you say that, and then I thought back to it, I'm like, oh man, that made me feel good.
Yeah, because like to get somebody to laugh, isn't that hard?
It's not.
You just set it up and then you say something unexpected.
Mm-hmm.
But to get someone to like actually feel something, you have to like shoot a shot into their emotions.
Mm-hmm. That's not an easy thing to do. Mm. That's not an easy thing to do. So learning that, man, oh man, that made all the difference.
And then we filmed a sequel to it with John, and it was just the framing of it ended up being weird. And I think at first you were like, "Just go ahead and post it," and I was like, "I don't know." Like, just like watch it first.
At first I was like, "Yeah, like go ahead and post it," and then I looked at it again, and I'm like, "Do not post this. This is terrible." It may be one of those things we have to get in do in person.
I think so, because like I've been trying to reschedule it for a long time, but it's like it never seems to work out.
Yeah. I would say maybe let's talk about that after the podcast. Like maybe I try to schedule that to do that in person, because let me tell you, and I was telling you this the other night, I feel like we found our bag with that. I feel like we found something that we're good at.
Just making people sad with just a little bit of comedy.
Dude, people love being sad.
That's true.
People love being sad.
Oh man. I forget the name of it. There's this movie, it's on Netflix. It's called Paddleton.
Paddleton, what is that?
So it's this independent movie. It's mostly improvised and has Mark Duplass and Ray Romano.
Okay.
And
hey, Ray Romano.
yeah, but so it follows that formula of being really funny, but also just like drenched in sadness because it's like one of their best friends, and they're like neighbors, and one of them gets like cancer that's like terminal, and so he decides that he wants to end his own life, and he has to get his friend to help him.
So it's essentially a dark comedy about.
It's a dark comedy that, without spoiling anything, there is a scene towards the end that genuinely like it left me like disturbed by like how sad it was.
You know, yeah,
give it a 10 out of 10.
People love sad shit, man. And do you think like people nowadays are more like almost like masochistic like that?
No,
because I think people are. I think people are like especially now. Like I think it's always been a thing. I think now that like we've got to this point where just about everybody's depressed.
I don't think that the rise in that type of art is from masochism. I think it more stems from people are willing to accept those feelings now.
Okay.
Where, you know, in the 50s, like it had to follow the formula.
Because I'm not gonna lie to you, G. Sometimes when I'm watching certain shit and I can't turn away from it, I'm thinking to myself, why am I doing this to myself? I was in a good mood before. Why am I watching this? Dude, do you know how draining it was? Did you watch Malcolm and Marie?
Yeah.
So watching that, it was so good, right? Because they were both acting their ass off. But it was so draining because, man, I can relate to this. I could relate to what I was seeing, like how they just kept getting into arguments and shit. Like I could relate to that.
It felt like Marriage Story on cocaine. Like in Marriage Story, you got that release where you got to be like,
yeah.
Malcolm and Marie didn't have that, and I think that's the reason why a lot of people didn't like it, because they were like, yeah, well, those people aren't likable characters, and you're like, yeah, they're yelling at each other. Like,
yeah, the whole movie.
The whole movie. Eating macaroni and cheese, it doesn't matter. Like, are you really eating macaroni and cheese right now? I'm like, no. I'm gonna rewatch that soon. That was so like.
It was good, but dude, I was so drained after. I was so drained after watching it.
So weirdly enough, I know that I said that I was gonna show you something after this, and then we would talk about it on the next podcast.
Okay.
It is like a bullseye in that masochistic, like, why the fuck am I watching this?
Okay. And just so that people know, what is it called?
It is called Climax. I've talked about this before.
Wait, what do you got me watching? It's called what now? Climax?
Okay, so here's the premise. And everyone here, watch. If you can handle it, watch it.
Okay.
So it's from this French filmmaker. The general premise is that there's this dance troupe, and they're practicing in like a warehouse, and it's snowed in.
Okay.
So they're just there by themselves. They finish their practice. They start celebrating. Somebody spikes the alcohol with LSD.
Okay.
And it turns into like a Lord of the Flies type situation where they're trying to figure out who did it, but they're all fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
And just awful things happen. But it's told in such a visually stimulating way that you can't look away.
They're on LSD, right? So
yeah, the whole time. And you kind of like see it from their perspective almost.
That sounds crazy.
It is crazy.
Okay.
But yeah, I feel like you'll hate it, but I feel like you'll hate it but want to talk about it.
Okay. It's called Climax, right?
Yeah, and we'll talk about it next episode.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like it's gonna start with being like, "Look here, you motherfucker! Why?"
Okay. There's one last thing I want to touch on before we go.
All right, what you got?
You think Samuel L. Jackson is the biggest star than Will Smith? Because
Yes.
I look at it this way, right?
Okay.
Does Samuel L. Jackson have children? I would assume so, right?
Probably grandchildren at this point.
Oh, absolutely. Because I feel like you know what point I'm about to make.
We'll explain it. What's your point?
When you got so much sauce, right, that you can take a woman that was in love with Tupac, right? Right?
Okay.
You can take a woman that was in love with Tupac, and then and this is just my opinion. I think Will Smith is one of the reasons why Jada Pinkett Smith is Jada Pinkett Smith.
Okay.
Okay. That's just me. I might be wrong, and I'd be willing to debate anybody on this like later, right? But I think Will Smith is the reason why Jada Pinkett Smith is Jada Pinkett Smith to a degree, right? And then they had children, and those children got sauce too.
Okay.
Right? How many of Samuel L. Jackson's children got sauce like that?
I don't know about that, but here's my argument for Samuel L. Jackson.
If you said Denzel Washington, I would agree with that. Not Samuel L. Jackson. But go ahead.
I would say Denzel Washington is over both of them.
Yeah.
But I think Samuel L. Jackson is above Will Smith for one reason that I feel like is very hard to debate.
Okay.
How many words does it take for you to know it's a Will Smith quote? Or to suspect it's a Will Smith quote?
I see what you're saying.
Even if you say in West Philadelphia, right? 3 words.
Right.
If someone came up and said motherfucker, part of your brain automatically goes Samuel L. Jackson.
If someone says motherfucker, because I've heard too many people in life say motherfucker, right? But if somebody says motherfucker in a certain way, right, at a certain tone, at a certain octave, right?
Yeah.
Then I do think of Samuel L. Jackson.
Okay.
Does he have a lot more? Is he more quotable? Absolutely, sure. Yeah, I give you that. Right. But Will Smith is just Will Smith, G.
Yeah, but
even go ahead.
I was gonna say, even if you look at modern movies, right? Mm-hmm. Like the recent movies that they do.
Okay.
Will Smith will come on and do his Will Smith thing, and people tend to not really enjoy it. Like they'll be like, "Oh, okay, he's doing the thing that he usually does." Mm-hmm. Samuel L. Jackson does the same thing, but he does not get that response. They'll be like, "Oh, but we like Samuel L. Jackson." Like that's fine that he's doing that. Like that's what we want.
I do think, and mind you, right? I do think Samuel L. Jackson is a better performer than Will Smith is. Absolutely.
Do I think he's a classic?
Yeah, like he's leaps and bounds a better performer than Will Smith is, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. I just don't think he's more famous than Will Smith. It's for the same reason I think Nas is a better MC than Jay-Z.
But Jay-Z is more famous.
But Jay-Z is more famous than Nas is.
Okay, I will agree with you that Will Smith is more famous outright than Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
But I think 50 years from now, when they're kind of both out of the game, I think people will remember Samuel L. Jackson more.
Okay. I could agree to that. I could agree to that.
He's more culturally lasting. That's what
mm-hmm. I could definitely agree to that. Yeah, sure. I know what I want to talk about next episode.
All right, which one was
because I want to get people mad, not cancel these two motherfuckers mad, but pretty mad.
All right.
I want to talk about Eminem and why I feel like everybody's on Eminem's dick. That's what I want to talk about.
I'm ready for this. I have a lot of opinions about it.
Please, you know I can't stand Eminem. I don't like Eminem. I don't like Hobson. I don't like fuck Hobson.
Fuck Hobson. I can agree to that. I think Eminem has merit, like undeniable merit, but I also think that he's so overhyped to the point that everyone's afraid to say that he's not like the greatest ever.
I'm not afraid to say it. I want to talk about it on the next episode of the Javae Scott podcast.
Exactly. We'll see you next time.
All right.